Hello, hello. Good morning, Lynette. I'm just literally out here admiring the full moon, and I'm like, oh no, I need to go live. We are live. Happy Monday. Hanging out here at Disney's Shades of Green Resort. And it's a gorgeous morning. Hey, Lady Kirk. Happy Monday. I mean, let's just take in that moon for a second. This is actually a blood moon. There's an eclipse going on. It was actually last night. I know you can find some live streams of the blood moon. You can see it a little bit better other places in the world, not so much here in Orlando, but it looks super cool. But I'm just hanging out outside, admiring the moon, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go live. Sorry about that. Hey, Mark Mueller. Good morning. I really like that they have like music playing in the background here. It's super tranquil in the morning. Very excited for today's live stream. I'm making it a green theme. We're going to talk about the color green and its symbolism. Hey, WDW Stream Finder, good morning. And I think, when I was just thinking about streaming here at Shades of Green, I don't know, I felt like I haven't been here in a long time, and I wanted to bring this resort to you guys. And I know I've talked about this stream on other streams, referring to the content that I brought to you from this location. But I don't know, I just felt pulled to come here today. So I was just trying to think a little bit deeper, why am I feeling drawn to this particular resort? And I just remember thinking back to when I was here, obviously shades of green, the color green. And I just think that this resort, the landscape and everything is just gorgeous. And the color green is just standing out to me. So we're going to talk about the green symbolism, just on a deeper, more spiritual, emotional level. But we are, of course, going to talk about the book that I've been reading, Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. So much good stuff from that book. And again, I'm reading it slowly because I can't take notes fast enough. It's just a wealth of information. So I'm excited to talk about that today. Let me catch up with the chat here. Shamrock Turtle, good morning. Yeah. Grandmother Moon, always watching over. That's right. Hey, Captain Kirk. Shelby, good morning. Happy Monday. All right, we are going to go for a little walk. But I mean, this moon. Hey, Bill, good morning. Christina G, good morning to you as well. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous resort. Lots of water features, lots of green, obviously. So I walked in from the lobby. This is the little outdoor seated area. We had a wild, wild storm last night. It woke me up many times throughout the night. Loud crashes of thunder woke me up in a dead sleep. It was wild. So it's a little bit wet out here, but we're gonna walk around and take in the beautiful sights of this resort. Under the full moon, sending all positive vibes your way. I know that a full moon can really affect people. So hoping that everybody you come encounter with today will be easy breezy, free of conflict, because full moons bring new beginnings and all that, but it can kind of shake things up a little bit. Yeah, Lee, I know. Some banging entrance music. I love it. Mrs. T3, good morning. Of course, Christina. I was admiring the moon. That's why I was a little bit late to my own stream. I was just sitting, taking it all in. So here she is. She's a beaut. You can see her right behind the clouds there. Super cool. All right. So we're going to go back inside just so we can get downstairs. I do want to show you the front of the resort, though, because there's a really cool waterfall. That says push, and I am pulling it. Okay. So here we are in the lobby. Love the fireplace. Ooh. We'll go outside. Morning. I just love the front of this resort. Yeah, this music is very loud for the morning. But I guess it has to be louder than the waterfall. So the water. Hey, Peaches! Good morning. And it goes down here. They're very loud, but I love it. Love a good water. All right. I have to. Are we back? Let me know if we are back in. I did turn off the Wi-Fi, so not sure. Looks like numbers are coming back. I don't know. Are we on? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Please let me know in the chat if you can see or hear, or everything is clear for you guys. I did turn off the Wi-Fi. I don't know. Unless the chat is now off for me. Wait. Oh, okay. Now I can see you guys. Okay, sorry. Okay. I did something with the chat. Okay. I'm gonna just assume that we're back. All right. If something else strange happens, just let me know, but I think we are good. Hey, Eric. See, and I'm not seeing live chat, though. That's the problem. Okay. Well, we're just gonna roll with it. Actually, let me try something. All right. See if that works. All right, so green. Let's talk about the green symbolism. So green signifies growth and renewal, and obviously it's the color of nature, right? When we think of nature, I think of like trees and plants and things growing, right? So new beginnings, and obviously connecting back to that personal development. Something about the color green makes you feel calmer, all right? Green is associated with harmony and peace and all things tranquil really help us to combat the three adversaries in your life: the critic, the monkey mind, and the trickster. We talked about that on previous streams. Right? And a lot of what Jim Murphy talks about is really mastering the mind. So just getting in tune with that color. You can meditate around that color. You can light a candle with a specific color, right? And kind of just take on the properties of colors. I think, and I wanted to talk about this earlier, but I think what I'm going to do is for each stream, have a color focus. Obviously, shades of green, we're green today. But I think moving forward, we'll focus on a different color for each stream, and I'll let you know the color. So if you want to plan your outfits and kind of embrace that color for the day, I think that'll be something super fun. Yeah, the chat is not showing up for me, guys, so I apologize if you're asking questions or commenting or anything. I'm not seeing anything. I'm so sorry. Which is really unfortunate because I like to connect with you guys. But we're just going to keep it moving. I don't know how to reset it, so we're just talking to myself today. It's okay. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This does not typically happen. But if you haven't already, hit that like button, please do. It helps more and more people find the channel, find the stream, and we're spreading that positivity. I always think about karma, right? Whatever you're putting out there will come back to you. So hit that like button of positivity. And it's a great way to send out those positive vibes into the world today. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And hopefully you'll learn something new today. We'll start out your day on the right foot. The color green is also linked to energy and vitality, right? So it's an energizing color. And what you should do when you're either meditating on a color or thinking about a color or wearing a color and you want it kind of embody those traits, think about your values and how you can kind of fuel them and energize them throughout the day. And of course, if you're not already familiar, green is also symbolic of abundance, right? Prosperity, opportunities. And you can also think about, I love like piecing this together, but you can think about like clearing the mental like weeds in your brain, right? For connecting back to the color green and nature, clearing out those mental weeds. All right, you're going back to your roots, you're going back to your core and nature at the end of the day. So a good like reflection question to think about if you're journaling or just need a focus for your personal reflection for the day. You can think about, what do you need to water today, right? What areas of your life do you need to water, quote unquote, to increase that green, that energy? Really trying to get the chat back. I'm so sorry, guys. All right. So now let's kind of get into what I've been reading recently. So excited, really enjoying this book. Also, just a little disclaimer, I want to spend most of this stream outside because, hey, there's a lot of green, a lot of grass, a lot of nature, and I'm just feeling it this morning. Okay, so in Jim Murphy's book, Inner Excellence, he talks about two primary forces in the world. And we've spoken about these two before, but it's love and fear. All right, so if you go into self-protection mode, that's really connecting with like fear, okay? Self-protection is fear, but when you think about self-expression, that's love, all right? It makes sense. If you are trying to protect yourself at all costs, you don't want to look bad, you don't want to be embarrassed, that's all ego-centered, right? And the controlling force is fear. But when you want to express yourself, even your truest self, that's love. That I could see, which is great. Thank you, Lee. I hope that works. Maybe a super chat will reset the chat. Thank you. Oh my God, you're the best. So I could see that, but oh, thank you so much, Lee. I don't know. I don't know why I can just see that. Let me just see something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so sorry. I like talking with you all, so I'm sad that I can't, oh, wait, I see Captain Kirk. Maybe you're right. Maybe the super chats are resetting the chat. Thank you. Appreciate it. I do see a bird off in the distance. There he is, right by the tree. Yay! I can see the chat now. Shelby, super sweet. Thank you for putting a huge smile, I'm assuming, on your face. Yeah, Stephen Noon, it's up. Whoop, whoop. That's weird. I don't know. But if you feel compelled, I mean, the super chats seem to be helping the chat. Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right. So if we want to be fearless and live with freedom, the only way is to have love, right? And have love be the driving energy in our life, right? Not fear. Wow. I don't think it's coming from that bird, but let's try and get closer there. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just walking on the golf course, but let's go over to that bird. Let's go see. All right. The sky looks kind of amazing too. Hit the like button for that sky, man. I loved this quote. Okay, so Jim Murphy says, to walk in love and not fear is to live by faith, not by sight. That's so profound in so many ways, because he talks about the fact that we need to really focus on not so much the tangible, superficial desires that we might have, but focus on, making memories, making connections with people. And that will help foster this force of love instead of fear, right? If we're focused on like receiving like tangible things in our life, we want more clothes, more cars, more whatever. The bigger and better thing, you're comparing yourself with others, right? With those tangibles. That is really driven by fear, right? And that comparison, and you're feeling self-conscious and anxious. All those things are connected with fear. But now the bird's moving. Come on. I'm trying to follow him. Oh, Captain Kirk knows the sound. It's a red-tailed hawk. Wow. Hey, Shelly. Good morning, everyone. Just came into that quote. Love it. What a good first thing to hear. Yeah. I love that. Okay. Let's check out this amazing bird. I don't know what kind of, it looks like an ibis, the beak, but I'm not sure. Wow. What are you kidding? Wow. He's like, no, please don't disturb my peace. I need to be alone. I get it. You good. Okay. He also says you need to live by what's deeply meaningful and timeless rather than superficial and temporary, right? Because those physical, tangible things are just temporary. And he says the most important and powerful things are things that are unseen. Super cool bird. Something else like moved in the water over here too. You know, it would be amazing if we saw a gator. I would just absolutely lose my mind. Thank you, Captain Kirk. A wood stork. Okay. Maybe it is. Ooh, something else moved in the water. A wood stork. Yeah, because I haven't seen that one before. Maybe it is. I'm going to consult my bird book later. That's for sure. So this is all part of Shades of Green, okay? Right on the golf course here. Gorgeous, stunning views. So if you ever go golfing on Disney property, you're right here at Shades of Green. Wow. I could just sit out here all day, but I think I would get hit with a golf ball eventually. Because the golfers come out pretty soon. But it's so gorgeous, I can't not hang out. Oh, is this guy gonna yell at me? I'm just taking a look at this bird. I don't know if I'm really supposed to be walking this way, but it's okay. So we must be fully present, able to see beauty, not living in a constant state of reaction. Hey, Disney Daddy-O, thanks for being here. So peaceful and so much nature. I agree. I could just sit here all day. But this is something that really resonated with me as well. I love the idea of like being able to be fully present, right? And that's something that I've been working on with my meditations and things like that. And just being more mindful overall, right? And if you are fully present, you can't be reactive. And I know I've talked about this on previous streams, being reactive and proactive, right? Proactive is you're being intentional about the things that you are saying, doing, feeling, thinking. If you're reactive, you're kind of giving up your control and just acting on impulse or acting on your ego, right? And we all know that our ego is not us, right? That's not you. We got some birds. So if you're in a fully present state, you're not reactive. And you need to recognize that the ego is always wanting to protect itself, okay? Constantly. The ego is in self-protection mode. Never wants to look bad, never wants to be embarrassed, self-conscious. So you'll see, and you'll start to identify this with other people that, like, always want to look good, are trying to one-up people, get upset if someone says maybe the wrong thing about them, right? They're very protective of how they appear to others. And I know I've talked about this many times. You cannot control how other people perceive you, right? It's just, you're never going to be in control of that. So giving up that control is actually allowing you to be more powerful, right? Because you're recognizing, okay, I can't control how people see me. I can't control, what people say about me. So giving up that is actually allowing you to be more free and happier, quite honestly. So you can kind of pick out those people that are very ego-driven. And if that's you sometimes, hey, I got to tell you, I'm guilty of it as well. But you'll be able to recognize that more in others and hopefully recognize that in yourself as well. Something that really stuck with me, and this is going back years, okay? I used to work at, obviously, I lived on Long Island for the majority of my life before I moved down to Florida. And I was hired at this one school that I worked at for many, many years. And during my new teacher orientation there, the superintendent or the deputy superintendent was running the actual orientation. We had long days. We had a lot of information given to us. But the one thing that he said that just stuck with me, and he even said, if you only remember one thing from these past 3 days, it's this. So he talks about how perception is reality, okay? Even though how other people may perceive you is not your intention or your reality, it really doesn't matter. Like how others perceive you, that's their reality, right? So although you can't do anything to change how other people perceive you, it's still like a good idea to keep that in the back of your mind, right? So if you're presenting something to the world, they're only getting that small snippet of information, right? Things that you put out in the internet, on Instagram, I'm dating myself here, Facebook, right? Anything that you put out there in the world, that's going to be people's perception of you. And it's important to realize, yes, I don't have control over how other people perceive me, but just being mindful of like, that's how people think I'm living my life. Hey Shannon, good morning. Sorry, I ignored chat that I can now see. Captain Kirk says, reacting is an automatic, knee-jerk, and often emotionally charged response, while being present allows you to respond consciously and intentionally. Love that so much, and you are so right. So, just some food for thought with perception, right? People are going to perceive you the way that, through the lens that they have in their own minds and life, based on their past experiences, based on their, values. But just know you don't really have much to do to change that. But I think it really came down to what he was talking about. Ooh, something is in there. If you, he was talking about like, if you take a sick day, right? And you put in a sick day, but somebody sees you out at the mall, right? What is their perception of you going to be? So it's just more like being responsible of the things that you're doing. But I just will never forget him saying, perception is reality. Even though it's not necessarily true, it's reality to that person. All right. I'm just going to keep walking this path because it's the nicest. Like, you can hear all the creatures in the trees. Super peaceful, so pretty. If you haven't already hit that like button, please do. Spread that positivity, especially on a Monday morning. And maybe even consider subscribing, turning on the bell for all notifications so you'll be notified every time I go live. Hey, Sue Ann, good morning. Glad that you're here with us today. I hope you are feeling amazing this morning. Lee, I am not going to golf. I don't know if I would be equipped for that, but thank you for the suggestion. I'm better at mini golf. That's more my speed. But I feel like I'm just on a nature trail, so I'm enjoying this. All right. I actually was listening to a podcast the other day, and I'm not sure if I talked about this on a previous stream, but even if I did, it's a good reminder. But something about like avoiding being judgmental, right? Because when we become judgmental towards others, what we're doing is really labeling them and putting them into a category. That's what our mind or our brain does, right? Our brain is wired to categorize things and to label them because that's how we know how to navigate the world, right? Think about the things that you do. Like taste a new piece of food, right? Ooh, okay, this tastes really good. I'm putting this in the category of like, I'm definitely going to be eating this again. Or, ooh, yikes, this was disgusting. Never going to eat that again. You're still like putting things into categories and labeling them as good, bad, and whatever, right? So to avoid that judgment, because we do that with people and we do that with events all the time, we need to actually tap into our curiosity, right? If we're more inquisitive, that leads to more questioning, while judging leads to more labeling and assumptions. So something to keep in mind to help you avoid judgment is to just ask questions. Stay curious. Because when we ask questions, there's less room for judgment and assumptions, right? My friend and I were talking the other day, and we said something like, oh, so-and-so looked really upset today. And I was like, really? That's not the impression I got. And I said to her, did you maybe ask if she was okay or if there's something going on? She goes, no, I just feel like she had RBF, which is resting beast face, we'll say. I said, well, you know what? If you ask her if she was mad at you or if she's in a bad mood, or just ask her how everything's going, then you can avoid that judgment of so-and-so was having a bad day, right? And she was like, oh, that's actually a really good point. So again, it goes back to questioning. Like, if you are starting to make an assumption, right, why don't you reframe it into a question and ask about it? And then that eliminates all the assumptions and all the judgments that you had. Now you can go off of what the person is actually telling you, right? I thought that was super cool and wanted to share that with you. Michael John Richards, good morning. I am just going on this stroll. I don't know really where I'm going. I'm just giving you a little tour of the golf course. Again, we're just taking in that green. It smells so good. Like the trees are just giving off this beautiful aura that I'm just soaking in today. Today's theme is the color green, and I am obsessed. New beginnings, abundance, just a refresh. Oh, there's a deer. There is a deer in the woods. I just saw it hop along. I don't know if you could see it. Let's see if we can see it. Bambi, come back. No. Michael, this is Shades of Green. It's in Disney. It's actually right across from the Grand Floridian and the Polynesian. Okay, wait. Oh, it's looking right at me. Oh my God. I don't know if you could see. Right there. See? Oh, looking right at us. Wow. He's like, nah, I'm gonna go the other way now. Yeah, that was cool. I did a 5K the other day at the Ritz-Carlton in Orlando, and we were running along this path, and as we were running, like say we were running here, 1, 2, 3 deer came out from the woods and just cut us off. I'm like, ah! It was super cool though. I'm like, oh my God. We literally almost collided with the deer, but super cool. It's a little buck. All right, let's keep going. Maybe we'll see some other creatures. I'm all about it. All right. Where are we going with this? All right. Each day your mind gets filled with endless clutter, right? Today, theme, green. We're gonna weed out those negative thoughts. So rather than letting thoughts come and go mindlessly and just letting them kind of attach themselves to you, we need to develop more awareness of them and intentionally focusing on empowering thoughts and releasing the negative ones, right? My white shoes are not gonna be happy. Okay. I don't know how much further we're gonna go. I hope this loops around, or we might have to turn back. I am literally in the water, in the mud. Is this guy gonna splash me now? Oh God. Very soggy. Very, very soggy. Okay. Ah! Oh yeah, he did not slow down. He's like, bye. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. So just know, if it monsoons before you go golfing, you're gonna need like waders to put on your feet. Because, I don't know, there's just so much water here. And I'm like stomping through, getting my shoes all wet. Ah! Okay. We must press on. I really don't know where this is going, though. I might have to turn around. And we'll take a look at the course from a different perspective, right? That's what I always tell my students. Good readers read, and then we reread, because every time we'll get something new out of what we're reading. And we're going to do that with this path. We looked at it one way, we're going to look at it another way. See what else we can get out of it. I'm going to try and go on that side. I don't know. These shoes, R.I.P. Okay. Yeah, I do need a canoe. Michael, I have not done a live stream in California. That would be fun. Captain Kirk, this is like a walking safari. Who needs deck? I know. We're just walking. Seeing what kind of animals we spot. I don't want to get splashed again. This person. Morning. Oh, as I'm saying hello, I go right into a puddle. That's nice. Okay. You know what? Water, we're cleansing, right? It's fine. I love water. Everything's fine. Good morning, Peter. Wow, because like, look how deep that is. That is no joke. Okay. Let's see what kind of animals and birds. This is great. I'm sure people like go for runs around the golf course. I should do that one day. Yeah, it's probably why nobody's golfing. They're just scoping out the course. Like, it's kind of waterlogged, quite honestly. I sleep with earplugs in, and I heard the thunder was so loud and the rain. Like, I heard it through my earplugs last night. So it was quite the storm. But you know what? It's nice. I love when it rains here in Florida. For me, it's always a nice thing to like go out on the balcony and just look out at the rain. The storms are always so powerful, and I just love that. And it's a great way to like pause and reflect and just, you know, reflect on your day, where you're at in your life, your goals. And if you would like some prompting questions or a great resource to help you with those reflections, you can send me an email and I will send you a free PDF called Pause and Reflect. So my email is in the description down below, but it's LaurenMcTurk, MCTURK @gmail.com, and I'll send you a free PDF that you can use over and over and over again. Send me an email. You could just write the word pause or reflect or pause and reflect, and I'll know exactly what you're talking about, and I'll send that over to you. I want to take a minute to also thank my wonderful Patreons for their continued support. I really appreciate you. I'm actually going to set a date today for our 30-minute coaching call. It's probably going to be on a Monday around 6 or 6:30. So just keep an eye out for that on the Patreon page. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon, go to patreon.com/learningwithlaw or learningwithlaw.com and check out which level is right for you. But let's continue on this gorgeous journey. Got a lot of frogs in there. All right. Love this. So Jim Murphy talks about how to renew your mind before you go to bed. Because I'm telling you, I think many times in your life, or everyone can relate to this in some way, shape, or form, because I know I can. But before you go to bed, that's when all of your thoughts for the day come crashing down on you. And for some of you, it keeps you awake. For others, it's just an endless mind loop that you wake up with in the morning. So here's a great way to renew your mind before you go to bed and help reset all of those monkey mind thoughts, okay? So you're going to think to yourself, what went well during the day? What sorts of things went well? You're going to review your day, focusing on the positives. What went well? And then you're going to think, what did you learn? So not what went the way that you didn't want it to go, or what was a negative thought of the day. You're going to think, okay, what did I learn today? Because you can always learn something. Okay? Second thing, you're going to recall 3 beautiful moments. They must be specific and they must be small. So this is kind of like a mini gratitude check. So not, I'm grateful for my health and my family. No. You can be grateful for those things, but you want to be more specific. Focus on the small moments. Maybe let me give an example, a family example. So maybe you're grateful for your family, but maybe you had a great moment with your son, daughter, mother, father, whatever, and you did a certain activity. I don't know. Grateful for that moment. Or maybe you thought you were going to have a really tough conversation with someone and it actually turned out to be really great. Like, that's a small and specific thing that you can focus on. That was a beautiful moment in your day. Not, I am grateful for my health, but, oh, hey, I got a PR on whatever exercise you did for the day, right? Small and specific. And then you're going to reprogram the mistakes and let go of the day. So what does that mean? You're going to think about the things that maybe you were not happy with, and in your mind, you're going to replay them, but make them happen the way that you wanted them to happen. Okay? That is going to create a new memory in your brain. Whether it happened or not, it doesn't matter because the day is over, right? You can't go back and change anything. But you can play it out in your mind the way that you wanted it to play out, and then just let it go. Be like Elsa. Let it go. So you need to see yourself changing anything that you didn't like about how you acted or performed. Be grateful, and then let it go. Then you're gonna make a little preview of tomorrow. Maybe a little trailer, as we would call it, right? What's gonna happen tomorrow? I see a bird up ahead. This is a heron, a blue heron, crossing the road. Where is he going? See yourself waking up and going through your day, executing your routines. You're going through it, right? You're doing all the things that you're supposed to do, right? You're visualizing tomorrow. You're picturing yourself in some part of your day, and you're using your tools, embracing every challenge with gratitude, right? You're just doing a little preview, a little trailer of the things that are going well. And then, if you want to, you're going to journal about it. Right? So you're going to go through all of these actions. And I encourage you to do that on the especially hard days or challenging days that you're having, because it'll help to reframe your mind. And then you can get to sleep. Love that. Lynette says, positive thoughts are relaxing. Negative thoughts keep you up all night. Great tips. Yeah, of course. Something that really, really resonated with me as I was reading. Jim Murphy talks about loss, right? And just the idea of suffering and how that's actually a blessing instead of a curse, right? To experience an intense loss, whatever that loss may be, means that you were given something incredibly valuable. So the greater the pain of the loss, the greater the gift you were given. So a lot of us, and even myself, from time to time, right, we're going through something and we just don't want to deal. We don't want to. We want to surround ourselves with the comforts. We want to avoid it, right? We want to hide from it. Because you know what? We're human, and that's what we're designed to do. We don't want to be uncomfortable, right? So our mind, our ego, is trying to protect us. But what we should really do is actually embrace that pain and see it as a gift. The reason why I'm experiencing this great pain, this suffering from a loss, is because I had something so wonderful and so great. And I need to, again, reframe my thinking as like being grateful that you had that thing, that person, that experience, whatever the case may be. And just know that everything has a beginning and an end. And with every end comes a new beginning. Just like a full moon, and it was a full moon this morning, tying it all in together. Love that so much. Just like nature, right? Everything has a beginning and an end. Something else that I loved in this book, and again, it's filled with tons of positive little nuggets and like valuable information. I'm obsessing over this book because I think it's so great. But Jim Murphy talks about happiness and joy, and there's a clear distinction in the two. So happiness is a positive, temporary feeling attached to circumstance, okay? It is a feeling based on what is happening. Everybody has felt happy in their life, right? It's a universal feeling that we've felt. We got two birds out there. That one looks like an egret. So we got an egret, and then Captain Kirk says that's a, what did you say, a wood stork? All right. Let's see. So joy, here's the difference, is a deep sense of well-being. It's freedom and gratitude, and it is independent of circumstances, okay? It's a deeper and broader experience, right? It's not tied to circumstance. It's broader than any pleasure or temporary feeling. And as humans, we are led around by our eyes, which creates attachment to circumstance. It is one of those senses that just, drives us to have a certain feeling about it, whether good or bad. So when you chase happiness, you are chasing circumstances so that you can get those better feelings. Like we want to feel good, right? We always want to feel good. That's like the driving force of things that we do, right? But life becomes reactionary and emotional. So when we're chasing that feeling of happiness, it means we're chasing circumstance. And if we don't get what we want, what happens? We become reactionary, right? And then your decisions become based on lack and scarcity rather than abundance and beauty. I thought that was super powerful. Love this little bunch of foliage here for those leaves. Come on now. So beautiful. So when we do that, we miss out on incredible beauty because we spend so much of our time focusing on problems instead of possibilities, right? Because we're, again, focusing on that circumstance instead of actually embodying joy. So happiness is dependent on comforting circumstances, getting in your comfort zone. To learn self-mastery and live extraordinary lives, we must embrace discomfort. Again, I feel like that's a common theme that I talk about here on the stream. Is we want to embrace that discomfort. Without pain, there is no growth. The more comfort you have in your life, the harder it is to face discomfort. That's very true. Right? And if we're focusing so much on being comfortable and living in that little box, right, we actually won't appreciate the really good times because we're stuck in that cushy little comforting world. And I love this. He says, the more time you spend on the quote unquote couch, the harder it is to get off of it. And the more people on the couch with you, the harder it is to get off of it as well. Oh my goodness, I love that, right? It's who you surround yourself with. So if you have a bunch of people on that couch with you, you're like, I'm gonna hang out here. This is great. I got my people. We're all doing the same thing. But again, is that pushing you outside your comfort zone? Are you becoming a better version of you? Or are you just staying in that mediocre little zone there? What do you want out of your life? Are the people around you pushing you to be the best version of yourself? Or are you just getting drunk every weekend? Right? I don't know. I just feel like you gotta be able to recognize where you are in your life and make changes where you need to, right? Don't chase the circumstance. And I love this. He also says, remember, you can carry your past with you in bitterness, or you can let it go in forgiveness. I've talked about this many times on the stream, how you all have a lens, right? Everybody is different. There is no other person in the world like you. You are an individual, and you see the world through your own specific lens, right? Based on your past experiences, based on your culture, based on your family. And you can either carry those circumstances with you as bitterness and play the victim, or you can learn to forgive and let go, but it doesn't mean that that part of you has to necessarily die off, right? You're carrying that with you. That's part of you. But depending on how you look at the circumstance, on the past, is going to dictate how your future will be. I thought that was brilliant. Welcome to the happiest place on turf. How cute is that? I love that so much. It's the wettest place on turf today, though, I gotta say. All the birds we got, all the birds. Here's where they were hanging out. Are they just eating all the... You know what? This is good for the birds because I'm sure all the worms are coming out of the ground and they're able to have a little breakfast. Oh my gosh. They are just like swarming. Wow. I know I usually start the stream with this, but we're having a little Wi-Fi laggy situation. But please remember that everything that I'm bringing to you is through my own lens, right? I'm not an expert in the things that I talk about. I am just going based off of my own experiences and my own knowledge, right? But you can take something completely different away from the things that I'm saying. And the book. If you decide to read Inner Excellence, maybe you grab something else from the book that I just overlooked, right? I'm just giving you the little Cliff Notes version of this book, right? And it's coming out through my own lens. So you might see something different. And that is A-okay. So in 3 weeks from today, we'll be at Disney. Whoop, whoop. That's so exciting. Look at this gorgeous resort, honestly. It's so pretty. Any of these rooms have a fantastic view of the gorgeous green. Look at that. So cool. And then, I don't know if you saw before, there was actually a monorail going by, but that's the Polynesian right over there. So just to give you some perspective of where we are. So I want you to think to yourself, because we're staying on the symbolism of green, right? The color green and nature and coming back to our roots, our core. Think about the areas of your life and pick one area for either today or the week that you think really needs some watering. What do you need to water? What area of your life needs your attention and your focus for today or the week? If you want, you can share it in the chat, you can journal about it, or you can just think about it. But think about one area of your life that you can really focus on, something that needs to be cultivated. Shelly, have to head out for work. Thanks for a great start to the day, Law. Have a great week, everyone. You too, Shelly. Thanks for being here. I want to give Lee a shout out for reactivating the chat with the super chat. I really appreciate you. I'm glad that fixed it. That's fantastic. I don't know what happened there, but we were having some Wi-Fi issues earlier, but I appreciate the super chat. You're the best. I don't know. I don't know what YouTube was doing. But next week, we are going to be streaming again on Monday from a new resort, new area here in Orlando, Florida. And I'm going to come up with the color that we're going to focus on for some symbolism there. But yeah, as you go throughout your day, notice how many things you see that are green, right? And just remember, hey, this is a renewing, energetic, abundant color, right? Giving you new possibilities, new opportunities. So just think about that when you see the color green. Lee says, thank you, Lauren. Great tips and brought back golf memories at the Palm. Green away, y'all. Cheers. Yes. Let's walk back this way because now we can see it in the light. I love this little area here with the bridge. We have that bridge symbolism, right? You're starting from one place, crossing over into that new way of thinking, new way of living, new possibilities, right? Whenever I think of a bridge, I think of that like, oh, I'm just making a transformation of some sort. A connection of ideas, so many things. But it's super quiet in the morning. This is a great place to like sit and read a book. You can go in that gazebo right over there. So gorgeous. I know this is like the start of spooky season, right? And the start of the Burr months. But I am so excited for Christmas time so I can take you to all the resorts and we can check out the trees, the Christmas trees. That's gonna be so fun. Can't wait. Pumped. Ooh. We got some fountains. Oh, my goodness gracious. Gorgeous, gorgeous resort. Let's go over to that clock over there. I want to thank you all so much for being here on this beautiful Monday morning. Yay. Thanks for joining me. And I appreciate you. If you haven't already hit that like button, please do. Consider subscribing, turning on the bell for all notifications so you'll be notified every time I go live. I'm going to sit on this rock right here. I want to thank my Patreons for being super amazing. And if you would like to become a Patreon or a member, YouTube member, Patreon, thank you, appreciate that. You can go to patreon.com/learningwithlaw or learningwithlaw.com. Check out to see which level is right for you. We've got some jazzy music in the background. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram handle is learningwithlaw55, so you can check that out. Patreon group coaching call will be announced today. What else? We're going live next week. Share the stream if you found something to be valuable and you have that person that you're like, I know that they would appreciate the stream. Send it on over to them. Let's see. Lynette, going to the tax accountant today. We'll be thinking green. Yes, yes, yes. Me too. Sending those green vibes. Captain Kirk, thank you, Lauren, for another great stream. Look forward to our streams every Monday morning. It's such a great way to start the week. So inspiring and meaningful. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to turn this back around. Oh, because you don't want to see me. You want to see this gorgeous resort. But I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here. And guess what? You were meant to be here, okay? You have a purpose. And if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. So keep that in your back pocket for the day when you're having those moments, you're struggling. Just know you got a purpose. You're here. You're here for a reason. And if you're interested in that free PDF, please send me an email. I'll send it right over to you, absolutely free. Love sharing some knowledge and resources with you. But anywho, thanks so much for being here. I hope you all have a fantastic week. Keep seeing green. Let me know in the comments below where you'd like me to go live next week. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you real soon. Bye-bye.